Welcome in. Welcome into the channel. My name's Craig, and this is where we put the spotlight onto German football. We've got another 9 adrenaline-fueled games to preview as part of Match Day 24 in the Bundesliga. It's effectively split into 3 chapters now, this preview show. We've got the title race, which is a 2-horse race, to be fair, between Munich and Leverkusen. Then we've got a bunch of teams from 3rd down to, let's say, 12th, all competing for European spots. That's Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. And then we've got 5, maybe 6, I'd say 5 teams that are in trouble staring at the trapdoor for relegation. That's the outline. Let's get into it. Let's preview the Bundesliga. We start our preview of all the games from Matchday 24 with a fixture on Freitag between Stuttgart and Bayern Munich. Check out our new shiny graphic. Stuttgart come into this game in 7th. Munich, while they're current league leaders, actually they're 8 points clear of Bayer Leverkusen, which could be extended to 11 should they win this game on Freitag. Now, slight side note, this could cause some friction between both Munich and Leverkusen, just because of the way the fixtures have been piled up. Now, as fate would have it, Munich have been drawn against Leverkusen in the last 16 knockout round of the Champions League. And the game, well, the first leg out of the 2 is taking place on Wednesday, or Mittwoch, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Again, leave the corrections in the comments below. Anyway, so that, in theory, implies that Munich would have an extra day's rest and recuperation ahead of that big Champions League game. Anyway, let's come back to the Bundesliga. Right, so in terms of form, well, Stuttgart's pretty terrible, actually. They've only won 1 in 5, and that was away to Dortmund 2-1. In terms of overall fixtures, well, they've won 6 at home this season, which includes 3 losses, though, in their last 5. Actually, their last home win was 4-0 against Freiburg, and that was part of a 2-game home win streak. Munich, on the other hand, as we know, are currently top of the league. They've won 4 out of the last 5. The other game was a draw, 0-0 to, last season's Invincibles by Leverkusen. Actually, in a game where they didn't pose much of an attacking threat at all. You know, Harry Kane, for example, drew a blank, as did Musiala and Elise. But they are undefeated in 10. Munich have won 8 games away from home this season, scoring a whopping 28 goals. And on 6 occasions, they've scored 3 goals or more. If you look at the head-to-heads between the 2 sides, and I like to do things over blocks of 5 just because it's easy to keep track of. Munich come out on top 3 times, the most recent being a 4-0 win at home back in October. And these last 5 games have produced 18 goals. Munich, well, they've scored 12 of them. In terms of a key player to look out for in the Stuttgart side, it's Nick Voldemade, however you pronounce that. Anyway, he scored 8 goals in 18 games so far this season. Has 21 shots, 17 of which he's had on target, plus a crucial assist. And actually, he's had 20 successful dribbles, which puts him inside of the 95th percentile. As for Munich, let's take a look at Leroy Sané, an inside forward with a lethal left foot. Actually, once at Manchester City, where I think in 90 games he scored 25-ish goals. So far in the Bundesliga, anyway, he's scored 6 in 19 with 4 assists. Actually, he's got an 85% pass completion rate. He's made 20 key passes and 18 successful dribbles. And the dribbles puts him inside the 93rd percentile. In terms of my prediction for this fixture, yeah, I just feel that the fact that they can score from anywhere on the park, they've scored, like I say, 28 goals away from home this season. They've got the wood on Stuttgart, having scored 12 in the last 5 fixtures and beaten them 3 times. Yeah, I just think Munich's going to overpower Stuttgart. So my prediction is a 3-1 away win to Bayern Munich. 7 precious points separate Bochum in 17th from Hoffenheim in 14th. Coming into this game, the form of Bochum, well, that's 2 draws and 1 win in the last 5. That win, by the way, I'm going to refer to it as a shock. But I'll soften the blow slightly. Yeah, it was a win. It was against Dortmund. But like I say, the softener is Dortmund have been out of sorts this season. I mean, yes, it's the same Dortmund team that got to a Champions League final last season. Although their away form was, well, absent. And it's one of the reasons why Nuri Sahin was fired. But again, let's focus on that win because it's seldom happened for Bochum this season. In fact, they've only managed to register 3 wins all season. Home-wise, well, they've lost 6 games. Their biggest defeat was 5-0 to Munich back in October, but we can make allowances for that. They've only scored 12 goals at home, and get this, they've conceded first 17 times. Although 4 times they've managed to claw back for a draw, and that includes a remarkable 3-3 against Leipzig, and that was from 3-0 down at half-time. Hoffenheim's form, well, that's pretty similar to Bochum. It goes something along the lines of 1 win, 2 draws and 2 defeats in the last 5. Hoffenheim have only won away twice this entire Bundesliga campaign. That was a 3-1 away to Bremen and a 3-1 away to Holstein Kiel. In their last 5 away games, Hoffenheim have conceded 11. That includes a 5-0 to Munich. In terms of the head-to-head, in the last 5 fixtures, well, Hoffenheim edge it 3-2. The last being a 3-1 win back in October. And this is interesting that all 5 were home wins. And believe it or not, for 2 teams that can barely score this season, this fixture has produced 25 goals. Yes, the last 5 meetings between Bochum and Hoffenheim have produced 25 goals. Not quite sure from where. In terms of a key player to look out for in the Bochum team, it's the Greek left winger. Let me try and get this pronunciation right. Georgios. Nailed it. Georgios Masouras. Yeah, Georgios Masouras, the Greek left winger. He actually signed in the January transfer window from Olympiacos. And OMG, he's made an impact. He's scored 2 in 4. He's provided 7 crosses and 5 key passes. As for Hoffenheim, well, it's one of my other favourites. No, it's not Tom Bischoff. It's Anton Stack, the DM. Again, check him out on FM. He will hold that midfield together for you. Anyway, he's played 21 times this season, 1 goal, 1 assist. He's made 50 tackles and he's won 115 ground duels. As for my prediction for this fixture, what's that? Is that splinters? Oh yeah. I've sat on the fence. Yeah, I've gone for 0-0 just on the basis that Bochum have only won 3 times at home. They don't score many goals. And conversely, Hoffenheim, they've only won a handful away. They don't score many goals either. A point would probably be more favourable to Hoffenheim than Bochum at the minute. Yeah, that's it. My head's rolling my heart on this one. I'm going 0-0. Really need to get those splinters taken out. Werder Bremen versus Wolfsburg then. Werder Bremen come into this in 12th. Wolfsburg in 8th. In terms of form, well, Werder NYC and Werder Mike won't thank me for calling this one out, but Bremen's form is terrible. It's like 1 win in 5, and that was at home to Mainz, though, 1-0. They only won 3 at home all season. They were a low-scoring team. They only managed to score 16 goals at home. Interesting data point that 20% of their goals that they concede at home come inside the sort of 11 to 30-minute red zone. I've scored first in 10 matches, though, but I've only gone on to win 6 of them. As for Wolfsburg, well, form is similar, albeit not matching Brennan's. They've only got 1 win in 5-2. That was away to Stuttgart. Actually, that was coming back from 1-0 down to win 2-1. They have won 6 away, though, this season, scoring 24 goals, which, that's the third highest in the table in terms of away wins and third highest for a number of goals scored away from home too. Actually, they've scored in their last 5 away games, so they are pretty consistent away from home. In terms of the head-to-head, well, Bremen have won 2 out of 5, the most recent being a 4-1 win back in October, and then we've had 2 sets of two draws, basically. Yeah, 2 sets of 2-2 draws. Actually, both times, Bremen have come behind to scrap a draw, which, proves that they've got some fight about them, which they will need in this game. And actually, those last 5 games have produced 19 goals, and interesting, only 1 clean sheet. A key player for Bremen to look out for is Jens Stage, or Starger. Considering he's Danish, Starger's probably how you pronounce it. Anyway, Starger is a central midfielder. He's scored 7 goals in 18 games this season, and that's come from 18 shots, 8 of which have been on target, 4 assists, so he links up well with his teammates around him, including the mighty Marvin Duschk. He's got a 79% pass completion rate, and that includes 12 key passes. As for a hot tip in the Wolfsburg side, take a look at Patrick Wimmer. Yeah, Patrick Wimmer. Wimmer. I assure you I've not gone all Jonathan Wasson here. Yeah, Patrick Wimmer. He's an Austrian. He's an inside forward. He's a technician with the ball. Pretty much makes it stick to his feet. And that's backed up by his stats, actually. Yeah, he scored 1 goal in 20, but he's not really predominantly there to score, is he? He's there to create. And he certainly does that because he's responsible for 4 assists. And they've come from 28 crosses, by the way, including a 39.29% cross completion rate. And more importantly, he's got 25 successful dribbles, which puts him in the 96th percentile range. So again, he's got vision, he's got flair, he can beat his man, the ball will stick to his feet, and he can whip that ball into the box. As for my prediction for this game, well, since Bremen have lost 5 at home, they're in terrible form. Plus they've conceded 20 goals at home. And then you marry that against the fact that Wolfsburg have won 6 on the road. They score a lot of goals. They've got 9 from Mohamed Amor, 8 from Jonas Jonas Wind. He's a Football Manager hot tip of mine, by the way. Yeah, he'd probably end up having to spend around between 18 and 20 million, but he's a deep lying forward, so he'll connect with your midfield and he'll be in the right place at the right time to score. So with all those factors combined, and the fact that you've got Patrick Wimmer going down the wing, with his successful dribbles, whipping balls in, I'm going to go 2-1 Wolfsburg. Yeah, so my prediction, when all said and done, even though I've got a bit of a soft spot for Bremen, I'm going 2-1 away win Wolfsburg. Heidenheim, or Crystal Palace, I think as we agreed to call them. Heidenheim versus Gladbach. Now, Heidenheim come into this game in 16th. Gladbach are in 9th. As for form, Heidenheim, well, they've lost 4 out of 5. The other result, by the way, was a surprise 2-2 draw in Leipzig. And that was a live on Sky game where they took a real shock 2-0 early lead. That was quite a shock. The last win was back in mid-January. That was 2-0 at home to Union Berlin. They've only won 2 at home all season. They've only scored 9 goals at home. Although 7 of those have been from open play, which proves that they're not reliant yet on their goals from set pieces. Gladbach, well, it's the opposite really. They've won 3 out of the last 5. 2 of those wins have come away from home. They've scored twice in each of those games. They've won 4 away from home all season. Scored 13 goals in those games, and also scored late, right? So again, they're a resilient team. 16% of their goals come in the last 9 minutes. So it's a warning for a fragile team like Heidenheim just to stay alert, because there's always a goal threat coming, especially late on. Quick look at the head-to-head between the two sides. Actually, there's only been 4 that we can make reference to. The other one was in the DFB Pokal, which is the German equivalent of the FA Cup. Gladbach have won 3 of them. All those wins have come at home. The other one was a 1-1 draw. As for key players to look out for Heidenheim, it's Paul Wanner. Yeah, Paul Wanner. Yeah, he's a cam, central attacking midfielder, hot prospect actually, Austrian. There's a production line coming out of Austria, right? He's only 19. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist in 22 games this season. Likes taking a shot. He's had 12 of them. 5 have been on target. He's good with the ball at his feet because he's achieved 50 dribbles. And he's got vision. He's got vision because he's responsible for 16 key passes. For Gladbach, look out for Robin Hack. Yeah, Robin Hack. A left winger. Great hair, by the way. Tight, tussled, Instagram friendly. He scored 2 goals in 22 games. Responsible for 4 assists, which is, that's good actually. That's a good return. He's knocked up 514 passes. Yeah. Responsible for 41 dribbles and 30 crosses. As for my prediction, I've gone 1-0 Gladbach. And that's on the basis that Heidenheim have lost 9 at home. They've conceded 20 goals. Gladbach have won the last 2 away from home. They score late on. They're hungry for a European spot. So yeah, I'm going Gladbach 1-0 away win. Leipzig up against Mainz 05. This is absolutely 2 teams that are vying for European qualification. Going into this fixture, Leipzig are in 6th. Mainz 05 are in 5th. In terms of form though, Leipzig, they just can't buy a win. That's 4 draws inside of the last 5 games. You have to rewind the clock quite a while back to find their last win at home, and that was 2-0 against St. Pauli. Leipzig concede a lot of early goals. In fact, 15% of the goals that they ship come inside the 11th to the 20th minute red zone, as proven by Heidenheim, who in that last home game for Leipzig went 2-0 down very early on. In fact, if I recall, it was Honzek that scored that shit pinger. That was only after like 7 minutes. All that being said, though, the Red Bull Arena is quite a fortress, and I say that because they've still racked up 6 wins at home and they've only lost once. And when they did lose, they lost big. Yeah, it was a 5-1 hammering by Wolfsburg. So you look at all that and you go, also, there's 5 clean sheets in there. So, all right, Marco Rose might be going into this fixture with the sword of Damocles hanging over his head, but he's got to be proud of what he's built at home in the Bundesliga so far this season. Mainz, well, like I say, unprecedented year for them. They've won 3 out of 5. They're on a 2-game win streak. And actually, they've done this twice before. And both of those were actually 3-game win streaks where they managed to clock up 15 goals in those games. They've won 5 away from home. They are the 4th highest scorers with 21. And they've only conceded 14 away. The head-to-head's quite tight between the two sides. Out of the last 5, Mainz have won 2. Last time was in November 23. That was 2-0 at home. there's also been 2 draws. And in every game, it's the away team that's been the winner. Only 9 goals produced out of this fixture, out of the last 5. And only once has there been a 0-0. Xavi Simons. Yeah, Xavi Simons, the Dutch cam, the Dutch central attacking midfielder. He's worth watching for Leipzig. 5 goals in 15 Bundesliga games this season. 4 of those have come at home. 3 assists, because again, he's got some great vision, Again, he's another one that I like to pick up on Football Manager. Yeah, so 3 assists, 21 times as he dribbled successfully around his opponents. Again, very tight, close ball control. Technical player as well, responsible for 30 key passes. Switching the focus to Mainz 05, Paul Nebel. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Paul Nebel. He's a right winger. Anyway, right winger, German national. 6 goals and 2 assists in 21 games. So he's really contributing to the success of Mainz this season. He scored 4 times away from home. It's worth keeping that in mind. He's produced 64 crosses and 34 dribbles. Oh! Ow, more splinters. Because I'm back on the fence. I've gone for 1-1, and I've done that on the basis that Leipzig keep it tight. Like I said, the Red Bull Arena is a fortress this season, having only lost once at home. Conversely, Mainz, they've only lost 4 times away from home. There's goals in it for both teams. But again, Leipzig keep it tight. Mainz will have a go, though, with people like Paul Nebel. I can just see it being 1-1.
We're going to take a short pause here, but don't worry, there is a part 2 coming very soon. If you made it this far in this video, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am going to ask you one tiny favour though, please. And that's if you could leave me a like. Likes are satisfying deeply for a content creator like myself. Yes, it's a small channel now, but hey, we've got big, bold, brazen ideas. Oh, and if you've got any comments and corrections, I am only human after all, please leave those in the comment section below. And finally, a subscribe. A subscribe would be wunderbar. So, that's it for part 1. All that remains to be said is that I've been Craig. This has been where we've put the spotlight onto German football. And please, check out part 2 over here. Auf Wiedersehen.